They took Fear Factor, locked it in a house, and said, good luck. From panic attacks to gross challenges, I'm recapping every wild moment. This is Kinda Unhinged. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another Fear Factor House of Fear video, and we are on season 1, episode 2. And we begin this episode by seeing that Zach is thrilled with himself because he feels like he sent Kristen home, and he couldn't be more happy. He said that he is doing this to win the money for his daughter, and he's gonna take out everybody, basically. Jaylene is kind of giving Rob a little bit of the cold shoulder because she doesn't trust him. She doesn't feel safe with him after being in an alliance with him and him having some power this week, and her and Kristen both ending up in the elimination challenge. Then we see a scene with Damien telling Ditta that her biggest fear is fire because she was in a house fire when she was younger, so she doesn't want to do any challenges that have to do with fire. And unfortunately for her, this week's challenge involved fire. So the players were split into teams of 2, and they had to get on a lift that took them 65 feet in the air, and then they turned themselves into a human wrecking ball, and they had to swing 150 feet into this wall that had fire at the bottom of it, and then grab a net. So once they got to the net, they had to climb up the net another 100 feet to a ladder that they had to assemble to climb up to the top of this tower, where they could ring 2 bells and that would stop the clock. And the team to do this the fastest would be able to choose 4 players to play in the elimination round. So the first team to go is Danielle and Zach, and unfortunately they didn't even grab the net. The second team to go was Rob and Jenny, and they were able to grab the net and climb up to the ladder. So Rob was moving pretty quickly, so he got up to the top first and he was able to pull Jenny the rest of the way up. They assembled their ladder fast and they got up to the bells and they rang it at 2 minutes 44 seconds. So now they had the time to beat. Lance and Blake were the next team, and they weren't able to grab their net, and they were followed by Rodney and Ditta, and they weren't able to reach the net either. Tyler and Jaylene, however, made it through the whole thing, but they rang their bell with 2 minutes and 51 seconds on the clock, so they weren't able to beat Rob and Jenny's time. However, Chelsea and Ethan were able to beat Rob and Jenny's time, and they rang the bell at 2 minutes and 31 seconds. So the last team to go are Ditta and Damien. Ditta had to go twice because there was an uneven number of players. And as I mentioned before, Damien's worst fear is fire. So she was terrified. So Johnny counts them down and the timer starts running, and she's like, wait, I can't go, I'm scared. And Ditta manages to convince her to face her fears and just go for it. And they do, and they grab the net, but they're not able to hold on to it for long, so they fall, which means that Chelsea and Ethan were the team to win this challenge. So after the challenge, when the players are back at the house, Jenny, Chelsea, Ethan, and Ditta form an alliance, and Rob decides to form an alliance as well. Since he realized that his alliance with Jaylene fell apart, he decided to propose an alliance to Danielle, and she accepted. So Chelsea and Ethan were able to go into the first look room, and they saw that it was an eating challenge because there was all these yucky things being put into this blender and blended up. And Ethan says that he knows that Jenny can do this challenge because she was saying earlier that if it's an eating challenge, she can do it. So he's like, if we put her in there, we know she's safe, and then put the players that we want to target next to her. And Chelsea said from the beginning that she wanted to go after Zach because he's going after the girls. So after they come out of the first look room, Ethan tells Zach that Chelsea wants to put him in. And Zach is like, she can't put me in that competition. Like, I can't eat gross things. I can't even smell things. I couldn't even change my daughter's diaper. And then he starts saying that he's going to pack his clothes because he's going to go home because he can't do the challenge. And I mean, he's like over the top with it. Like, I know I'm going to go home. Please don't put me in. Please don't put me in. I don't want to go home. You're definitely going to send me home if I have to go do this challenge. Well, Rodney used to be a detective, and he said in his confessional that he thinks that Zach is joking and he's not taking him seriously, and he is being very over the top. So we get to the elimination game, and Johnny tells the players that there are 2 wills. There is a yellow one, and a black one. So each player will have to spin both of these wheels to get an ingredient. One is a solid and one is a liquid, and those two ingredients will be mixed together, and then they will have to chug the drink. And the player that chugs it the fastest in round one will be safe, and they will get to choose a player to give a smaller glass to, which of course would give them an advantage in the second round. And whoever is the last to chug their drink in round two will be eliminated from the game. And Zach immediately starts gagging just hearing the instructions. And they're begging him to stop because, of course, when you hear people gagging, then what do you want to do? You want to vomit. So Johnny asked Ethan and Chelsea what four players they chose to play in this end game. And they chose Jenny, Rob, Zach, and Danielle. So in round one, Jenny's two ingredients are fermented beans and sour milk. And this would have took me out because I don't know what it is, but sour milk is like the grossest thing to me. Like, I am the type of person that if it even smells the tiniest bit not fresh, I will not drink that milk. I don't know. I can't do it. So this is literally the stuff of nightmares for me, that sour milk. That would take me out. I'd rather have the pig's blood.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Speaking of pig's blood, Danielle gets pig's blood and cow stomach for her two ingredients. Rob gets pig ears and fermented egg juice. And Zach gets chicken gizzards and cat gravy. And he said it smelled like poop. And even Johnny couldn't handle the smell of that one. So in round one, Rob completely chugs his drink down the fastest, and Zach can only manage to take one sip of his. So Rob wins round one, and he's able to pick someone to give the small glass to. And all three of them plead their case. Zach's like, hey, choose me because if you choose me, it's going to be really fun to see me turn this house into a tornado. But Rob ultimately chooses Danielle to give the little glass to, and we go to round two. So in round two, Jenny gets pig heart and vomit fruit. Danielle gets pig ears and pig blood. So she's had pig blood for 2 rounds. Bless her. And Zach gets chicken gizzards and fermented egg juice. What a lovely pairing. And then Zach completely chugs his drink in like a couple seconds. And Jenny and Danielle are looking like, what the heck? Danielle has to hurry up and finish her little glass so she won't be eliminated. And unfortunately, Jenny was eliminated. But the other players are realizing that they just got played. Zach played them so bad. And you can't even be mad at him because, like he said, I mean, he came to win. And it's not his fault that they fell for it. And I'm not gonna lie, he kind of irritated me last week, but this little move, I respect it. But you guys let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you want more Fear Factor House of Fear content, then go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.